Hello everyone, welcome to the new video lecture of subject Interconnected Power System. Myself Himanshu Joshi, I am an assistant professor in Sri Labhubhai Trivedi Institute of Engineering and Technology, Rajkot. So let's continue our chapter number 6, that is the power system stability. So we have already covered a first lecture, and in that we have learned about the basics of stability, types of stability, and its fundamental concept for stability. So let's further ahead of the topic of chapter number 6, power system stability. So today's topic is rotor dynamics of power system. So we have already learned that the stability also depends on the mechanism of alternator, that means its dynamic of alternator. So to analyze this stability, first of all we have to learn about the rotor dynamics of power system. So we know that kinetic energy for synchronous machine is given by 1/2 j omega square. Kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 j omega square. J is the moment of inertia and omega syn, that is the synchronous speed of alternator. Now we know that rotor synchronous speed is equal to p by 2 of synchronous speed. Rotor speed is equal to p by 2 multiplied by omega synchronous. So I can write that omega synchronous is equal to 2 by p into omega rotor. P is equal to number of pole. So in this particular equation I can replace omega synchronous by 2 by p into omega rotor. So in this equation we have to put square of omega synchronous. So we have to replace omega synchronous square by 2 by p square and omega r square. So I can write kinetic energy is equal to 1 by 2 j, so 2 by p whole square, and omega r square I have written omega r square instead of omega r into omega r. So omega synchronous square is nothing but the 2 by p square multiply by omega r into omega r into 10 raised to minus 6. I have written over here 10 raised to minus 6 because I want to write kinetic energy in terms of megajoule. Clear? That's why I have put over here mega, and for that I have put over here 10 raised to minus 6. Now again in this particular equation I have mentioned the another term which is nothing but the angular momentum. Clear? So that defined as angular momentum defined as m, and that is equal to j multiplied by 2 by p whole square multiplied by omega r multiplied by 10 raised to minus 6 megajoule. So j 2 by p whole square omega r and 10 raised to minus 6 megajoule is equal to angular momentum of synchronous machine. So in that case our kinetic energy is defined as Ke is equal to 1/2 m omega r, because 1/2 as it is j 2 by p whole square into omega r into 10 raised to minus 6 megajoule is equal to m, and this is the left omega r. So kinetic energy is given by 1/2 m omega r. Now in our previous chapter we have defined the kinetic energy as G into H. In our chapter of load frequency control, in that chapter we have defined the kinetic energy by multiplication of G and H, where G is the machine rating in MVA and H is the inertia constant in terms of megajoule per MVA. So we can compare these two equation. So G into H is equal to 1/2 m omega r. Please make a note that G is the machine rating in MVA and H is the inertia constant in megajoule per MVA. So I can write G into H is equal to 1/2 m omega r. So I can write m is equal to angular momentum is equal to, I will keep m in left hand side and remaining term in right hand side. So 2 will be multiplied by over here and omega r is divided by this particular equation. So m is equal to 2 into G into H divided by omega r. So I can replace omega r by 2 pi f, clear. So I will put omega r is equal to 2 pi f. So 2 and 2 will be cancelled out. So angular momentum is equal to G into H divided by pi into f. Its unit is megajoule into second upon electrical in terms of radian. This is the unit in radian. So if I want to convert this unit into degree, then I can replace this pi by 180, clear. This pi denotes the radian unit, and if I want to convert that unit into degree, then I have to replace pi by 180. So again, second formula in terms of degree for angular momentum is given by m is equal to G into H divided by 180 into f. I will replace pi by 180, pi by 180. So m is equal to G into H upon 180 into f. So this is the two formula for angular momentum. This is in terms of radian and this is in terms of degree. Now if I will take a machine rating as our base, clear. Please note that G is the machine rating and I will take GMVA as our base, then the angular momentum will be converted into per unit. So m per unit in radian is given by H upon 180 into f. This is in terms of degree, and m per unit is equal to H upon pi into f. This is in terms of radian. So this is the angular moment in terms of per unit for GMVA as our base. So this is the another formula for angular momentum. So angular momentum depends upon the size of machine as well as its type, clear. Angular momentum is one of the very important parameter for the analysis of stability, and that depends on the size of machine, and this inertia does not vary widely with size and has a characteristics value, clear. Inertia constant H is not vary with respect to size, so it has a characteristics value. So I can say that angular momentum is depends on frequency. Angular moment is depends on frequency. So we can say that frequency is one of the sensitive parameter for stability. So this angular momentum depends on frequency. So we can say that angular momentum is also one of the sensitive parameter for stability study. So these are the some of the inertia constant value for different types of machine. So inertia constant will be vary from 1 to 9. 1 to 9 depends on the types of machine, clear. So you can note that these are the inertia constant value for different types of machine. Now let's see the second topic, that is the swing equation. So this is the diagram for generator, rotor and motor. So swing equation is one of the important topic for stability study, and this figure shows the torque, speed and flow of mechanical and electrical power for synchronous machine. Clear? This diagram shows the torque, speed and flow of electrical and mechanical power for synchronous machine. Here for this synchronous machine we have assumed the negligible loss. So we have not considered any kind of losses for this particular machine. So in this machine we are going to derive the one of the important equation which defines the stability. Clear? So let's consider the notation for our this particular topic. So TA is the accelerating torque, TE that is the electromagnetic torque, Tm that is the mechanical torque or shaft torque, PS that is the mechanical power, PM that is the mechanical power, PE that is the electrical power, omega Sn that is the synchronous speed of rotor, Pa that is the accelerating power, delta one of the most important notation, delta that is the angular displacement. Clear? So these are the parameters that we have to consider for the swing equation. Now we know that in case of synchronous machine, first of all note that this is the angle theta, and that is the theta angle which is nothing but the angular position of rotor. Theta is the angular position for rotor. So this is our reference axis. You can take reference axis anywhere in 4 quadrant. So let's suppose this is the reference axis, and with respect to reference this is the angle theta, and that angle theta is nothing but the angular position of rotor. Clear? Now it is obviously that theta changes continuously with respect to time, because theta denotes the angular position of rotor. So rotor will rotate with respect to time continuously. So that's why we have taken this is as a reference. Clear? Because we want to locate the location of rotor, and that's why we have taken this as a reference. So we have taken a reference, and with respect to that reference theta denotes the angular position of rotor. Now let us talk about the angle delta. So delta denotes the angular displacement from synchronously rotating reference. Clear? Delta denotes the angular displacement from synchronous rotating reference axis. That means this angle delta denotes the rotating axis, reference rotating axis, which rotates at the speed of synchronous speed. Clear? So now let's define the third parameter. And that is the rotor field. Now we know that rotor field will rotate at synchronous speed. Clear? Now we have to define this angle theta. In terms of omega synchronous and delta. Clear? We have to define this angle theta in terms of omega synchronous and delta. So that theta is equal to omega synchronous multiplied by t plus delta. Now how this formula will arise, let me explain that first. So now you can see over here that theta is directly depends on delta and omega synchronous, but this angle delta is fixed. This angle delta is fixed. So theta is equal to delta. Theta is equal to delta plus what? Plus this omega synchronous multiplied by t, because this vector is rotating continuously with respect to time. This vector is continuously rotating with respect to time. So this theta is continuously changed with respect to time, but that theta has fixed part which is equal to delta. So that is the fixed part which is equal to delta, and another part is continuously rotating with respect to this rotating vector. So that angle is continuously changed with respect to time, and that is why I have mentioned over here theta is equal to omega synchronous multiplied by t, multiplied by t. This is the angular velocity. So I will multiply that with respect to time, so it will gives me angle, clear. So omega synchronous multiplied by t plus delta will gives us the angle theta. That is the angular position of rotor, clear. So let starts with respect to accelerating torque. So TA which is nothing but the accelerating torque. So we know that torque comes from the rotating body, and torque is given by the multiplication of moment of inertia multiplied by angular acceleration. Torque is nothing but the multiplication of moment of inertia multiplied by angular acceleration. Generally it is only acceleration, but over here we are going to talk about the angular rotation. So we will take angular acceleration. So torque, accelerating torque is equal to J multiplied by alpha. So I can say that TA is equal to J multiplied by alpha, that is the angular acceleration. So our angle is theta. So I can say that angular acceleration is given by d square theta by dt square. So TA is equal to J into d square theta by dt square. Please make a note that d theta by dt gives only velocity, but over here that is the acceleration. So we have to again differentiate second time by d by dt, so it will gives me d square theta by dt square acceleration, clear. If I will write only d theta by dt, that is the angular velocity, but over here is angular acceleration. So it will gives the d square theta by dt square. Second time differentiation of velocity will gives the acceleration. So accelerating torque for synchronous machine is equal to J into d square theta by dt square. So finally if I want to find out the acceleration torque, then I have to put the value of theta after the second derivative. So we are having a value of theta which is equal to omega synchronous multiplied by dt plus delta. So if I will take the 2 times derivative of this particular equation and I will put that equation over here, then I will get the accelerating torque, clear. So theta is equal to omega synchronous into t plus delta. Now differentiation of theta with respect to t 2 times, that will gives the value of d square theta by dt square. So first time differentiation it will gives the d theta by dt which is equal to omega synchronous, differentiation of t with respect to t that is equal to 1, and differentiation of delta with respect to t will gives the d delta by dt. Now second time derivative will gives the d square theta by dt square is equal to omega synchronous, so it is a constant, so differentiation of constant with respect to t will gives the 0, and second time differentiation of delta d delta by dt gives the d square delta by dt square. Now you can see over here that alpha is equal to d square theta by dt square, clear. So over here d square theta by dt square, so I can write over here that alpha is equal to d square theta by dt square and its value is equal to d square delta by dt square. 2 times differentiation of angle theta will gives the d square delta by dt square. So please make a note of this equation, we will use this equation in our later derivative. So now if I want to find out the accelerating torque, then the basic fundamental of that accelerating torque is nothing but it is equal to the difference between mechanical torque and electrical torque, clear. Acceleration of synchronous machine will depends on 2 types of torque. First one is the mechanical torque which is equal to the flow of steam, clear. Second torque, that is the electromagnetic torque, will depends on the amount of electrical power and amount of load. So the acceleration of machine will depends on the difference of these 2 torque, clear, mechanical torque and electrical torque. So now let us multiply this equation by omega. So omega into Ta is equal to omega into Tm minus omega into Te. Now omega into Ta is equal to Pa. So Pa is nothing but the accelerating power, Pa, that is the accelerating power. So omega into Ta is equal to Pa, omega into Tm is equal to Pm, and omega into Te that is equal to Pe. Omega into Ta that is the accelerating power, omega into Tm that is the mechanical power, omega into Te that is equal to electrical power. But just we have defined value of Ta, we have defined the value of Ta. Ta is equal to j d square theta by dt square. So Ta is equal to j d square theta by dt square. Again multiply this equation by omega. So omega into Ta is equal to omega into j d square delta by dt square. We have replaced the d square theta by dt square by means of angle delta. So d square delta by dt square. So I can write omega into j d square delta by dt square is equal to omega into Ta. Now omega into j is nothing but the angular momentum m. Omega into j is nothing but the angular momentum m, d square delta by dt square. Omega into Ta that is equal to accelerating power, and accelerating power is equal to Pm minus P, mechanical power minus electrical power. So this is our swing equation. M d square delta by dt square is equal to Pm minus Pe, or you can say that m d square delta by dt square is equal to Pa, and again Pa is equal to Pm minus Pe. So this is the basic equation which gives the relationship between angular momentum, accelerating power, mechanical power and electrical power. So these all are the parameter which directly depends on stability. Angular momentum is also depends on stability. Accelerating power, or you can say that difference between mechanical power and electrical power will also depends on stability. So this equation is known as swing equation. m d square delta by dt square is equal to Pa is equal to Pm minus Pe. So, this is our final equation for swing equation. Now, we can put the value of m, which is equal to Gh upon pi f. So, the another format for swing equation is like this: Gh upon pi f d square delta by dt square is equal to Pa is equal to Pm minus Pe. This is our first equation in terms of radian. In terms of radian. Now, if I want to write swing equation in per unit base, in per unit, in Pu, so we have to remove this G, because G divided by G, if I want to convert into per unit, then I have to divide this equation by G. So, G will get cancelled. So, per unit swing equation is look like this: H upon pi f d square delta by dt square is equal to Pa is equal to Pm minus Pe. So, this is the per unit equation for swing equation. Now, let define the another point, another topic, that is the swing curve. So, what is the swing curve? So, you can see over here that swing curve is mainly depends on variable delta, clear. So, swing curve, that is the solution of swing equation which gives the variation of angle delta with respect to time. So, swing curve is nothing but the solution of this second order swing equation, solution of this second order swing equation with respect to time. So, you can see over here that this equation is called the swing equation. So, it describes the, what does this equation describe? It describes the rotor dynamics for synchronous machine, rotor dynamics of synchronous machine, and you can observe over here that, this equation is having a order of 2. So, it is a second order differential equation, and in this particular equation we have neglected the types of losses, So, this is the characteristics for second order equation, and the solution of this second order swing equation gives the variation of angle delta with respect to time. So, graph of delta versus time is called swing curve, and it provides the information regarding stability, So, you can see over here, this is the basic graph of swing curve, clear, power angle delta versus time. So, here you can see two types of graph. First graph shows the stable point, second graph shows the unstable point. So, if delta increase continuously with time, graph of delta increase continuously with time, then this system is unstable. So, this graph, if delta is continuously increasing with respect to time, then it will gives the unstable mode of operation, and if delta is decreasing after reaching the maximum value, it referred that system will remain stable. So, if delta is decreasing after reaching the maximum value, suppose delta is increasing and it will achieve the maximum point over here, and after reaching this maximum point, if its value is going to decrease, then it shows the stable operation of system. So, these are the information that we can get from this swing curve. So, swing curves are useful for determining the adequacy of relay for the protection of power system with regard to clearing of fault before one or more machine become stable. So, this swing curve is useful for the protection of power system. Data is useful for the operation of relay to make the system stable. So, to plot the swing curve, the swing equation should be solved, and this swing equation can be solved by step by step method or point by point method. This method we will learn in our further lectures. In our further lecture, we are also trying to draw the graph of delta versus t, how to make system stable, how to make this system stable, that also we will learn in our further lecture. This graph, how this graph will occur, this also we will learn in our upcoming lectures. So this swing equation is solved by step method or point by point method, that will come in our upcoming lectures. At present, digital computer is used for solving the swing equation. So with this we will conclude our session. Thank you very much. If you have any doubt, any question, you can give your doubt and question in comment section. And if you like my video lecture, then please like it, share it and subscribe my YouTube channel Himanshu Joshi. Thank you very much.